Before we begin the video, if you haven't yet, come on down and join my Discord server. Link is down in the description. The most important part of any show has to be its characters. A show's success hinges upon the success of its characters. So oftentimes, while the characters are good, the show is as well. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the top 10 best Ninjago characters. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel for another top 10 video. Today we're counting down the top 10 best Ninjago characters, whether they be villains or heroes. So sit back, relax, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one. First off, we got Morro, the main antagonist of Season 5 and a fan-favorite villain, and it really isn't hard to see why that's the case. Don't get me wrong, I love Morro as a villain, but I actually feel he's a way better character than he is a villain. Morro has a lot of ambition, and he'll do whatever it takes to get what he wants. And I really love how this is the driving force behind his character. I also love his approach to destiny. I find it very fascinating how he tries to prove destiny wrong. It was very smart to tie him in with the Green Ninja story, and he's basically an evil version of Lloyd, which is super cool. His backstory is definitely beloved by fans too, and it's dark, haunting, and tragic all at the same time. Other things I love about him include his relationship with Wu, and his redemption, which was a phenomenal close for his character. In 9th place, we have Nia. Now, Nia might be one of my least favorite ninja, but that doesn't mean she's a bad character at all. One of the awesome things about Nia is her motivation to succeed, but also her fear of failure. I find that to be a very interesting character flaw, and definitely something I can relate to. If we're being honest, I did prefer Nia as a samurai, because it feels like she had a bit more distinctive in identity. But I have to say the transition from samurai to water ninja couldn't have been done better. It's actually a really interesting story. In Possession, of course, she becomes the water ninja. In Skybound, she deals with the consequences of that decision, and in Hands of Time, she lets go of the Samurai X identity. Nia's not a perfect character, but the way she evolves over the series is really amazing. And next up on this list, we have the Black Ninja, Cole. Now, first of all, I feel he's the most relatable ninja, and his story with his father in Season 1 was really incredible. Unlike the other ninja, Cole's story with his dad isn't dramatic or unrealistic. Having a negligent father and a deceased parent can happen to a real person. As for his ghost story, Season 5 set this up so well. Seeing him adapt to this new reality was a great story. Unfortunately, Day of the Departed doesn't do it justice. As for why he isn't higher up on this list, I feel he definitely needs more screen time. I mean, I'm super glad he finally had his first season, but the other ninja in other seasons have just had larger roles. But if he continues to be as good as he was in Season 13, he'll definitely climb this list. And now in 7th place, we have Jay. The thing about Jay is, and many shows fail to do this, but he feels like the perfect blend of a comic relief character and an actual character. This was especially the case in older seasons, and really Season 6 and Season 1. Jay does have very compelling stories, but he's also a lighthearted character who's able to see the good in a situation. Because Jay's sense of humor does actually serve a purpose beyond just being comic relief. As he said in Season 9, he likes to make jokes to make a bad event seem better. And also, he's just funny. He is, or at least he used to be, one of the funniest characters. Also, Jay's voice is so good. I feel it's the best ninja voice because of the broad variety of emotions he could pull off, and how expressive it really is. Now in 6th place, we have Master, or as older fans remember him, Sensei Wu. Obviously, Wu is the leader of the ninja team, and I feel his best seasons were Hands of Time and Hunted. Season 7 explores failure very well with Wu, while in Season 9, I feel Teen Wu was awesome and we should have seen more of him. Wu is a character who, despite his many mistakes, has still been a good teacher. I find his lessons from the first season to be very fascinating, especially the one about befriending an enemy. Wu is definitely committed to helping his students and has a great relationship with them, especially Cole. In the absence of Cole's father, Wu was there to be that father figure, a relationship I find to be very sweet. Wu manages to be both playful and strict at the same time, qualities of a well-balanced but also good teacher. Halfway through our list, here's Kai. You're gonna notice I'm only showing images of Kai's old design, and that's because post-movie Kai simply isn't good. Kai's only on this list for the pilots to Season 7, and man was he good. Kai isn't your typical angry boy, but he's actually got motives and goals that are definitely understandable. I love how Kai is definitely heart over head, and is almost always guided by his emotion. That kind of emotion is definitely apparent in stuff like Kai vs. Rei, as well as the Green Ninja story from Season 1, and I feel that emotion and motivation we see in Kai makes him a more compelling character. Unfortunately though, I feel modern Kai just isn't the same character anymore. But if they go back to what made Kai awesome in the first place, Ninjago can make Kai great again. In direct contrast to Kai, Zane is cool, calm, and collected, but also very logical and serious. However, his evolution in seasons 3 and 4 is simply amazing. In Rebooted, Zane learns humanity, and that closes out with his wonderful sacrifice, which is, by the way, Ninjago's best scene. Season 4 was even better, giving us a PTSD arc for Zane. You see, Zane is written so well that he manages to feel both human and robotic at the same time, and that happened to translate very well into his Ice Emperor phase. Although he didn't have enough screen time, Zane as the Ice Emperor really worked, and he felt very cold and devoid of emotion. But as for the real Zane we all know and love, he's loyal, selfless, and will do whatever it takes to protect those who cannot protect themselves. Okay, so my number 3 pick is Harumi, which might surprise some folks. I believe Harumi is a phenomenal villain and as good a character. Her twisted ideology especially fascinates me, and this is a character who believes what she's doing is right for the good of the people. She genuinely believes an Emperor Garmadon rule will help people and will avoid conflict. However, she's too blinded to see her own actions will lead to more orphans like herself. The loss of Harumi's parents very clearly impacted her a lot, and with the royal family ignoring her and no one to help her, she developed into this monster. It's never directly said, but it's very evident Harumi has mental issues. I also want to say she isn't an inherently bad person. Sadly, uncontrollable events in her life and that bitterness and anger she experienced turned her into this. We could talk about how great her betrayal is or how dark she is, but you've heard that a million times, and I feel the analysis to be done here is far more interesting. In the runner-up spot, my favorite ninja has to be Lloyd. Of the 6 ninja, he's definitely had the most development, and that definitely pays off. I feel especially in the Oni trilogy, they tackle some really dark stuff with him. Not only does he get his heart broken by Harumi, but he also has to face his father again. And speaking of which, Lloyd's dynamic with Garmadon is one of the best things of the series, and why I love this character so much. It's a very common story in Ninjago, but every season is different in some way. For example, in season 2, he has to fulfill the prophecy, whereas season 9 is more about him rebelling. I feel his arcs are some of the strongest of the entire series, especially season 8 and 9, which give us a more mature Lloyd. What's awesome about Lloyd is his change. He starts out as a bratty kid, and now he's a noble warrior. Is he over-focused? Definitely, no arguments there. But for the most part, he's remained consistently good. And for the reasons we've discussed, he is my favorite ninja and my second favorite character. However, my favorite character in all of Ninjago has to be Garmadon. Garmadon has had a few different forms or versions over the years, those being Lord, Sensei, and most recently Emperor. But here's the thing, every version of this character is unique and special in its own way. The original Lord Garmadon is so well balanced as a character, and he's also very conflicted. However, he has a ton of personality, and although he's a very funny character, he's also still a serious threat. As for Sensei, honestly I do prefer this character evil. But as a sensei, it was really awesome to see him as a good guy, and he manages to be a better teacher than Wu. But his final form, Emperor Garmadon, really blew me away. You'd expect it to be like his Lord Garmadon form, but he ends up being very different. First off, he has power, and also he's just way more evil. But that being said, his redemption arc in season 10 was phenomenal and definitely the show's best redemption. Okay though, actually the best Garmadon in my opinion has to be Oni Garmadon. Okay, I'm just kidding there, Oni Garmadon was a complete joke. In all seriousness though, Garmadon is such a fantastic character, and he will go down if he hasn't already as the most iconic and best LEGO villain. But that's gonna wrap up our video for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, share with anyone and everyone you know. Be sure to share what you thought of my ranking and your top 10 characters, and I'll see you next time.